Okay, so as I sit here whittling, I came across. I keep telling you guys about this app called Newsbreak, which I find really interesting yet again. But it was Newsbreak that broke this to me. And so, with that, I also want to add this is why I tell everybody yeah, I don't just sit around and read left leaning publications and stuff like that. I try and branch out to see what's going on. And because of that, so if you are in the Charlotte area, I would like for you to comment on this one, especially. But so it just came across my desk that in Charlotte, there have been 5 more deaths up from last year. In a 10-month span, there were 5 more murders than there were last year. So because of that, the Republicans in North Carolina here decided we need to send in the National Guard because of those five extra murders in the entire city of Charlotte. So you need to bring in the National Guard for just that. Now, I will tell you, for those of you that don't know, for some reason, North Carolina always seems to want to have its nose in, like, politics, trying to lead the most disgusting shit around and, trying to be, like, trying to be noticed, really. Sorry. Like, I will tell you this secret, and don't you ever repeat it again. I was born in Durham, but I consider my home Virginia Beach, okay? Now, I did graduate high school, although I started high school in Virginia, but I did graduate high school in North Carolina. And currently, I live in North Carolina. So, I unfortunately have some say-so in this. But, I mean, to just understand, like, you tried to strip away a legal win from someone. You're now trying to get the National Guard out here as if you just need attention to Charlotte because of 5 deaths more. Like, that really does not, oh gosh. And why would you call it the National Guard? The National Guard for that. What are they going to do? I mean, what are they going to do? So, I like how Stein is like, yo, shut the fuck up. That's not how this is going to play out. We have police. That's their job. We're going to let them do that. Now, I will tell you this, man. I don't know if you guys have been realizing it, but they keep saying that we're the ones that keep sparking all this hatred. Yet you keep seeing all of these napkins left and right, Trump supporters, that are all committing all these crimes and then crying about it when they actually get held accountable for it. So, I'm not even going to get into all this right now. And then you've got a lot of ICE. And see, I feel like trying to call in a National Guard will spark the interest of trying to call in ICE to get them all swarming all through North Carolina. Right? And I don't know if anybody noticed, but the No Kings protest should have shown them that this shit ain't flying. You had to gerrymander the fuck out of North Carolina to just be able to have your power. But in overall effort, no. If it wasn't for gerrymandering, this would not be a red state. I don't know, man. Like, I'm just saying, bro. Like, I just can't understand. I just cannot grasp how people will allow themselves to be so easily fooled into thinking that people that have consistently shown you they do not care about you. But you know what? Then again, I'm not going to get into this because I know it's kind of testy because, I want to try and equate it to the whole relationship thing. And I don't mean that with just, the females holding on to the abusive males. There is a vice versa to that. And sometimes it's not a female, it's not a male that has an abusive wife. It's a male that has a promiscuous female. And so he's got to deal with that. And instead of leaving her, he just wants to stay with her. But he keeps thinking that, oh, she's going to come around to me because she keeps saying, oh, I love you, I love you, I love you. But then goes and runs out with everybody else. Yeah, you might love him, but you don't love yourself, which means that you will never be allowed to live comfortably with this person, which means that they will never have a comfortable life with you. But the idea that you would just accept that, that's horrible. But that's the MAGA party. Like, you were literally, I keep talking about old freaking Grinder Thought Johnson out here lying like crazy. And people are still like, yeah, I believe and I listen. I still hear today. You know, I'm hearing people outside when, I'm outside working and whatnot, outside talking. And, they're just spouting the same shit that he's saying. But then I realized that, okay, if you don't really know what's going on, you're just going to turn on the first thing you hear everybody else turn on. And what causes a stir? Trump supporters. So then everybody's going to be listening to right-leaning shit. I know I just bounced away from stuff. Yeah, I tend to do that. Welcome to my channel. Anyways, but I find it interesting because these guys they'll choose to gravitate towards that. And then I also noticed that a lot of people wanted to go with that whole gang of, oh, yeah, fuck somebody, yeah, oh, wait a second, a politician is talking about fuck people and this, that, and the other? Oh, well, yeah, I want to go with that guy because, that's this and that's that. And you don't really start to pay attention to what really goes on because, first off, you don't really know anything about politics. So you just go off of whatever you've heard, and then whatever you've heard, from there on, now you've got this whole rabbit hole. Because these guys have made it a point to make sure that they demonize and dehumanize a whole other political party. Like, tell me how that's supposed to be some sort of civil discourse when you are out there actively every single day making sure that people know the lie that is, oh, it's the other person's fault. It's not us. It's not us that's in charge. It's not us that are making all these crazy rules. It's not us that have a leader that keeps coming out with all these crazy executive orders. And it's not us that keeps showing you how we keep making leaks everywhere. It's not us that is out here trying to rile our people up to get them angry enough to go commit crimes in our name so that we can turn around and we can say, it's not us. Am I kind of glimpsing the surface here? Like, I mean, honestly, how do you really sit down and go through all this in your head and say, yeah, I'm comfortable with seeing all this fuckery, and yeah, I want to see more of it. And then, I love how there's this direct effort that we have to make sure that we racialize and politicize everything. Although politics are in everything, I get that, and race is in everything. But I mean, there's like a greater effort to make sure that, hey, look, yeah, you were racist, but we need you to be super racist, okay? Like, do you think you can manage that? Yeah, I'm going to need you to dial it up from a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the greatest, 12. God, Jesus Christ, I was a fucking president who said that. Anyways, I just, yeah. Like, I'm just completely floored and I'm blown away. And then to add insult to injury, how many grinder thoughts are out there trying to make policies to go because of the idea that they are so ashamed with themselves because they just can't be happy to let people know that, hey, this is who I am, this is what I want to be, and this is what I love. So instead, I'm going to do this whole conversion therapy and all these kinds of things. I'm going to force people to be in my predicament, having to hide everything. Because if I got to hide, well, then you bitches got to hide too. Yeah, I could just see Grinder Thought Johnson just doing that, like, in his mind. Like, well, if I've got to sit around and I can't go and randomly put balls in my mouth when I want to and be happy about it, you can't either. Ah! And because I don't want to have sex with my wife because I'm not straight, I have to go adopt children. So you know what? I want to show that everybody else do the same thing too. So that way it doesn't look as awkward on me because everybody else is doing it. That's literally what y'all are doing. And you guys on the right are just sitting here being told that it was all gay people's fault. It's all trans people's fault. It's all minorities' fault. It's all these people's fault for the shit that you're going through. But it's us that are making the rules against them. I just thought, and then you want us to try and debate somebody. Like, who the fuck wants to debate a moron? I mean, quite frankly, you don't have any original thought. You can't just scrape two peas together in order to create a logical idea. Like, and then when you get exposed with the truth and shit and you get slapped in the face with the truth, and you turn around and act like reality doesn't exist, and, it's whatever. But once again, if you can't see anything wrong with this one person, everybody else is wrong, you're in a cult. Duh. I mean, quite simple. And the fact that you guys won't go and look these things up when people tell you lets me know you're guilty and you know it.